It is 109,000 degrees in the bilge of that boat, and the engine. The door of that boat is the entrance into hell at the moment. I feel like these boats have a soul. Welcome to Second Wind. This channel is more than a boat. It's about my journey. You're gonna see every step of it, from buying the old boat to bringing it back to life. Upgrades, repairs, unexpected setbacks, and lessons learned. Nothing here will be sugar-coated. You'll see the success, the failures, the budget challenges, and the moments that make all the hard work pay off. If you've ever dreamed of restoring a classic boat or just living life a little differently, you're in the right spot. Welcome aboard, and let's get to work. Because I did just buy a boat. That's my new boat. I'm still on the ride there, but I was thinking, in my search for these boats, I had a few things that were basically requirements for me. Had to be a diesel, either a full or semi-displacement hull, 2 heads, 2 staterooms. I really wanted a Trawler. They're great. I have found quite a few that were, let's just say, a little overpriced. And it's something I'm not fully grasping in the trawler community. Take Marine Trader, for example. There is several Marine Traders on the market in my area, but they're all just outside of my budget. My overall budget for right now, like, I realize it's gonna cost a lot of money, and not all of it at once, but it's gonna cost. But the one thing that I see in common with all of these boats, and maybe it's the time that I'm looking at them after, the COVID boom and the boat market is crashing and people had these big dreams and expectations of what boat life was gonna be, and they never took the trip. They at least bought the boat, but they never took the trip, and they held on to the boat for too long. Life got in the way. They moved. They health problems. All of these things seem to be very similar with how this is working out. People are holding onto these boats longer than they should, neglecting them longer than they should, and then expecting not to take a loss on these boats. Maybe you can tell me in the comments that I'm just completely maybe innocent, or I don't fully grasp the boat market, and I do realize that I'm looking for boats that are sub $30,000. But even at $30,000 for a boat, take the one particular Marine Trader that I would really like to have gotten. It was all original, completely. The tanks were in good shape when they were original tanks. The hull was in good shape from what I could tell without hauling it out. And the boat overall was not a derelict style boat. Like, this isn't a boat sitting on jacks in a boatyard. It was in the water. It looked like at some point someone had taken very good care of this boat. But when I say it was all original, it had the original teak decks. They were not maintained. They were gray, they were cracking. The sealant between the slats were dry and crumbling, and there were several soft spots on the deck of this boat. I already understand that if you can feel the soft spot, it's probably way further out than your foot is telling you. So by the time you start cutting into the deck to repair the soft spot, you'll end up replacing way larger chunks of the coring than you had initially thought. I'm going into this understanding that. And the boat that I'm buying has a soft spot on the bow of the boat, on the deck, near the windlass. I get that I'm gonna have to cut the whole bow out, re-core it, re-fiberglass it, refinish it. That's part of one thing that I know I need to do to this boat. But with the Marine Trader, the guy wouldn't come off the price, even though it needed a $15,000 or $20,000 deck job. Main Ship 34, which I'm sure if you're on YouTube searching trawlers within the last several weeks, you've seen a picture of this boat. I'll implant a picture here. That boat is not in bad condition for what I was looking for. It's a project boat. It needs work. But it seemed pretty solid. It was halfway clean. There didn't appear to be any structural issues, even though the fly bridge was getting weak over the cockpit of the boat, not over the salon, but over the cockpit of the boat. The fly bridge was starting to get weak and starting to sag a little bit. So I would assume you'd have to go through and refiberglass that. But the downside to the boat was when I walked up to it, the dockmaster had not walked past that boat in probably had to have been weeks. Rain, it's been raining a lot here in eastern North Carolina. So the rainwater had gotten into the bilges, and somehow the bilge pump switch was turned off. So that boat was sitting in the water up to the bottom paint. The bright paint was being lapped by waves. That's how low this boat was sitting. So me and my friend got on the boat and was walking around as we were being shown all the project boats in the marina. And he hit the switch and it started pumping water. The man showing us the boat, he's like, "Oh, I didn't realize that was off. The boat seems to be sitting fine." So we continued on walking through the marina looking at other boats there. He looked at specifically a Beneteau Oceanus 40 that he wants to buy, way out of my budget. And we were there for probably, I don't know, an hour walking around just admiring the boats. Some were extremely well taken care of, others were definitely neglected. But then we decided to walk back over to that main ship. And when we walked back over to that main ship, the port hole, or the through hole for the bilge pump out the side of the boat, an hour later, still looked like someone just had a water hose running. It was still dumping water. The boat had come up out of the water probably a good 2 inches. So I'm sure it was getting towards the end of what was in there. But that bilge pumped water for over an hour and was still pumping water when we left 15 minutes later. It actually kind of made me sad when I saw some of these boats in such poor condition that only a year or two ago didn't look like that. It doesn't take a whole lot of maintenance to have a diver dive your boat every 6 months, or to have a boat cleaning crew come just clean the boat every 6 months, just so it doesn't look like it's abandoned, so it looks like it's still thought about, right? I know this is just a very random thing, but throughout my search for these boats, these project boats, that's what I'm running up on. And it feels like people are holding on to the dream too long. Don't do that. Just let the boat go. And I don't say that lightly. I understand it hurts. This boat that I'm going to see today is giving me just a whirlwind of emotions already, and I haven't even signed the documents yet. This is not my boat. But like you were, when you finally discovered the boat that you wanted to buy, they tell you don't fall in love until after you buy the boat. That's easier said than done. Which so is letting the boat go. It's easy to say, hey, let the boat go. It's sometimes harder to do that because you're like, in 3 months, I'm going to go down and work on the boat. In 6 months, I'm going to go down and work on the boat. And the next thing you know, it's been 3 years and you have not seen or sat on the boat. Just, I don't know. My views on upkeep and what an abandoned boat is has drastically changed over the past several months. I used to think that an abandoned boat was a derelict sitting in a backyard or just a pile of rotten fiberglass and plywood sitting in the back of a marina. Now I'm starting to understand some of these boats are still in the water, still paying slip rent, just wanting to go on a trip. If it's just heading out into the middle of the river or the middle of your lake and eating a sandwich, turning the engines off, letting the bilges pump. I feel like these boats have a soul and a spirit, and a lot of these boats are older than we are. They could outlast our children if they're taken care of. I've seen a lot of really sad boats in the last couple of months. And it comes down to, for just a little bit more money, you can get a lot more boat. And it makes these projects really hard to buy, much less sell. Like, you can't expect to get your money back out of a boat after owning it for 5 years, and the only thing you've done is put fuel in it and pay for slip rate. Very few boats, I think, would be able to do that. And a lot of these classic trawlers, or the classic boats that I've been looking at, that's not what those boats can do. You have to actively be in a relationship with that boat, or it's gonna die. It's morbid. I feel like there could be a lot more of these boats saved if the current owners would just understand that it's beyond them or their time or their money or energy. But it doesn't matter, rotted hulls or not, they're still worth what they're worth. But anyway, we're still heading to Virginia. The sun's come up a little bit. The weather is looking very gray. I am currently riding past so just on the other side of those trees is the Dismal Swamp. If you pay attention to ICW trips or Great Loop trips, that's the route that they take. That's the route that I'm hoping to be taking in a couple of weeks when I bring this boat. But we've still got to figure out, what is that oil leak? That is a deal breaker for me. If I can't fix that oil leak within today, with what limited budget I have to get the boat home, I'm gonna have to walk away from this boat too. And start to search all over again. There weren't as many of these boats made as I thought, and it seems like the vast majority of them are beyond my means of saving or far too expensive for my tax bracket. But we're gonna hopefully find out This one needs quite a bit of love, but I think it's the right boat. So we'll find out when I get there, which should be about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So see you in a little bit. Just got back in the boat and I am already drenched in sweat. That air conditioner is not working. That might actually be, that might turn out to be a priority, is the freaking air conditioner. I don't know. I may have to put a house unit in here temporarily because this is, I can't do this. I'm already drinking again. But yeah, there's no way. There's no way. That's her. That's the boat. But I've also heard that motor run, and she heard like a diesel. I like it. Diesels are my happy place. I love them. So especially when they've got really big turbos. Hey, if you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much. It means the world to me. There's a lot more coming up. We have a lot of stuff planned. You're just gonna have to bear with me. I'm new to all of this. I've never owned a boat. I don't know anything about YouTube. The boat came first. YouTube was an afterthought, but I thought it would be fun to document this and share the journey. So like, comment, subscribe, share the video with anybody you think would like it. And don't forget, dream big. Bite off more than you can chew. You'll figure it out later, but life's too short to not buy the boat.